My name's Maya Garland.
My name's Brandon Garland.
And we're launching a brand new church called Movement Austin in early 2026 in North Austin, Texas.
Now we know that when you hear church, that can bring up a bunch of different thoughts or feelings. Maybe for some of you, there's some painful memories attached to church. Maybe for some others, you think of church, you think of something that's boring or not relevant to your life. Maybe some of you watch and have no experience with church at all. I'll tell you, for me, I definitely didn't have a perfect experience of church growing up, but I'll tell you this, it was a blessing in my life. God connected me to some of my very best friends, many of which I still have to this day. He also connected me to mentors and leaders who helped pour into me and shape me into the man that I've become now. And he also called me in the local church to one day plant and lead a brand new church all the way back when I was 17 years old. For the last 10 years, I've served in full-time ministry, and God's used all of that to prepare me for what he ultimately called me to do. But I'll tell you this, the Bible says that he who finds a wife finds favor with the Lord. And I'll just tell you right now in this video, God really began to supercharge what he was doing in my life when I met Maya.
Well, for me growing up, church was sort of a similar experience where I met some of my very best friends in my local church, as well as got connected to some mentors, some women who were just a little bit farther ahead in life and in their faith than I was, but they really became pivotal in my walk with God. They celebrated and encouraged me, but they also were a safe space where I could just bring my real self, my messy self, the things that I was actually struggling with, and they met me not with judgment, but with grace and love and truth. And that's really the type of space that we want to create for the people that we'll call Movement Austin home. I never thought that I would be in full-time ministry, let alone starting a new church as a lead pastor, but in my late teen years, I felt God call me to ministry, and I wasn't sure at all what that looked like, but what's really cool is that's when I met Brandon. And he shared with me that he felt called to plant a church, and he asked me if that's something I could see myself doing. And in that moment, it felt like this could really be what God has in store for my life. And fast forward a few years, we get married in 2020, and this dream and passion that Brandon had been carrying of church planting had become just as much my dream as it was his.
So the what was clear. We're to plant a brand new church, but just as important as what is where. Where were we supposed to plant this church? So we were praying, and while we were praying, we were also researching cities that were growing, and not just growing by a little bit, but growing to the extent that the influx of population had far outweighed the existing capacity of local churches to handle all those people. In addition, we had a clear vision from God of being in a city that was a cultural epicenter, that what happened in that city really impacted and changed the world. For those reasons, Austin was at the top of our list for a while, but we'd never visited. So back in 2023, got on a plane and came out here and visited. And though we were only here for 6 days, in 6 short days, God really caused us to fall in love, not only with this place, but with the people. And he made it clear that this was the place that we'd been dreaming about and praying about for all these years.
We've named our church Movement Austin because we have a vision of not only a church, but of a movement of people who come together to advance a shared mission that leaves our city better, and people who are committed to running together towards the unique purpose that God's placed on each of our lives.
You know, God has a divine, beautiful, amazing purpose in store for your life. And he designed church not to be something that you endure, but something that you enjoy. Our heart for Movement Austin is that it would become something that you and your family look forward to each and every week, not just something to check off the to-do list.
And maybe you're watching right now and thinking to yourself, how can I be a part of this? There are 3 things that you can do to join us in making Movement Austin a reality.
Number 1 is to pray. You know, every great move of God has started with and been sustained by prayer. I heard it said recently that prayer is how we write history before it ever happens. So pray with us that God would use this church in a miraculous and in a mighty way, and that he would meet every single one of our needs as only he can. The second is to partner with us financially. You know, starting a church in a large, growing, expensive city, it's not a cheap endeavor, but we believe it's a worthwhile one. Your financial partnership helps us to accelerate the pace at which we're able to realize the vision that God's given us to impact this incredible city. If God moves your heart to give and partner with us in any way, be that a one-time gift or a recurring gift, you can go to movementaustin.com and press the Give Online button. The third, and maybe our favorite one, maybe our most fun one, is you can join the launch team of Movement Austin. Maybe you're watching in the Austin area or maybe somewhere else around the world and you're resonating with this vision. We would love to have a conversation with you about what it would look like to be a part of the launch team. We believe God's given us an incredible dream for this church, but we know this, you don't go as far as your dream, you go as far as your team. So we would love to have that conversation with you. You can go to movementaustin.com and press the Join the Team button.
Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to hear our heart for this church and for our city. To follow along with what God is doing, you can find us at Movement Austin on Instagram and Facebook. You can also head to movementaustin.com to learn more information about our church plant. We love you.
Love you.